We'll do this official. Comic Book Corner. Hey everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Comic Book Corner, and that was the new credits. They're in progress, so that will be changing to look really beautiful soon. Welcome to a Comic Book Corner Cram Session presented by Cabin Fever Radio. I am Bobby Smith, and I navigate the world of comic books, present extended runs. Let me make sure let me get this one little thing fixed here for you guys. There we go. Extended runs. There we go. I am Bobby Smith. I navigate the world of comic books, present extended runs from some of the best titles, past and present, that deserve your attention. Thanks for joining me. About me, I've been reading comic books for nearly my entire life. I sometimes even joke that Spider-Man taught me how to read at the age of 4. Currently, I live in Los Angeles, California. I make movies, TV shows, short videos, write, direct, and even act. When you got a face this beautiful, you got to use it, right? I am currently even working on a comic book series for my female-led revenge western, Vengeance Turns. So you know you'll hear more about it on Comic Book Corner, with the idea for even a few more comic book series that I'm working on. And I can't wait to tell you about those as well. Comic Book Corner was born from my love of comics and my obsession with ranting about the stuff that I love as we got stuck inside, especially starting last March with almost a year ago because of the Trump virus and pandemic. Now, I know that so many of my own friends and family ask me about comics all the time and seem kind of curious, but really most folks just aren't sure where to stick their toes in the water if they're not already familiar with comics. So I'm betting that you have people like this in your life too. And I'm telling you, send them my way. Let me help you get them hooked on comics. As stated at the top of the show, this is what's called a cram session. It's brand new. It's a new kind of second format to deliver my reviews. I will still be doing full reviews of extended runs, trade paperbacks, and the occasional very special omnibus. But I also thought I would start doing these and keeping some of them shorter, more compact like this, just so that you have more comic series to choose from if you're a fan of this show and you're liking my recommendations. On that note, though, any of these cram sessions that you like could be blown out, as a full review. If you really like it, then just let me know and maybe I'll put it on the list. But you can always feel free to reach out during the show to chat with me, after the show to comment and stay in touch as well. I love talking about comics. That's why I'm here. And if one of the series on these cram sessions interests you, just reach out and we can discuss it all you want. Also, this is, as I said, part of Cabin Fever Radio. So I want you to follow Cabin Fever Radio and follow Comic Book Corner on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can check out the In Progress website for Comic Book Corner at Comic Book Corner as well. So behind me, you see the logo for Killadelphia, and that's where we're going today, folks. Killadelphia. Let's cram Killadelphia. Killadelphia started with Image Comics in November of 2019, and they recently released issue number 12 in January of this year. The first trade paperback is called Sins of the Father, and it collects the first 6 issues. It's available right now at just an amazing price from Image Comics at $9.99. And the second trade paperback called Burn Baby Burn will be available, collecting the next 6 issues, and it'll be available in April. The book was created by writer Rodney Barnes and artist Shawn Alexander. Rodney Barnes, the writer, is a creator that you need to be familiar with. He's worked on HBO's Showtime He's worked on Wu-Tang, an American Saga on Hulu. And on Hulu, you can also see his work with the show Runaways. He also has credits on American Gods, The Boondocks, and a ton of other TV shows that you would recognize. So look him up on IMDb. He also has done previous comics work on shows like Falcon and Secret Empire, on shows, not comics, not shows, comics. Previous comic work on stuff like Falcon and Secret Empire, Birth of a Patriot for Marvel, along with Star Wars, Lando, Double or Nothing. And then he's done some graphic novels for Forge called Quincredible as well. Jason Shawn Alexander, the artist, one of my old friends, the guitarist in my old band, Wild Love Rebellion, was actually the first person to introduce me to the work of Jason Shawn Alexander when he began collecting the guy's creator-owned work on Empty Zone over a decade ago. And let me throw the cover up for Empty Zone right now. Right there. There we go. So when my friend started collecting Empty Zone well over a decade ago, maybe over 15 years ago, he showed it to me, and I was just blown away with it from the art level. I read it, and I liked the story, but I looked through it probably 20 times just staring at the art and was blown away by it. From Empty Zone, the work that you see here, you can see the cover for, he went on to do work with Todd McFarlane on Spawn, and really from that point on has just produced a ton of amazing work. There's the cover for Empty Zone, and I popped up for just a second. Here is one page of some artwork from Empty Zone as well. So when I said that I sat and stared at that artwork for a while, you can definitely see why when you take a look at that. It's pretty amazing stuff there. So not hard to see how the guy has earned a name for himself in the comic books world. Since we're already in art mode and looking at this amazing stuff from Jason Shawn Alexander, and I know so many of my friends are, if they're attracted to a comic book, it's got to be by the art. Some of my friends don't care about the writing. Really, don't care. I care about the writing. Writing always matters to me. But I do believe it's a graphic medium, and I do believe that without good art, most of the time, it's not going to sell. It's not going to work. So we're already in art mode. We're looking at this amazing work here from Empty Zone, from Jason Shawn Alexander's past. Let's take a quick look at the covers from the first 6 issues of Killadelphia and take a look at how he's evolved and look at what's going on with his work now. Here is the cover for Killadelphia number 1. Give me 1 second. There you go. That is the cover for Killadelphia number 1. And that's the main character of the series right there on the cover as well. Here is the cover for Killadelphia number 2. And that is also the image they went with on the cover of the trade paperback as well. So that's what you'll want to look for if you're in your comic store and you're looking for it. There's the cover for number 3. And like I said, I didn't want to spoil anything, but you start getting into the idea of what part of it is, like I said, kind of a historical drama. The elements of that are apparent right there. Let's see. Let's take a look at number 4. Again, kind of dipping into the idea that there is something historical going on. Don't want to give it away at all because it's such a good read, but definitely check that out. Let's take a look at number 5. Now we're getting more straight back into the straight horror aspects of it. And again, one thing you'll notice is that the comic is in Philadelphia, and that the main character in it and his father both are black characters, and there's a heavy black presence in the story as well because of the fact that it's in Philadelphia. Rodney Barnes is black, and so it's nice to see this diversity in this comic as well. And it's really neither here nor there because well, again, it is kind of is, but I don't want to give that away. But again, you see some really great looking characters in there, white, black, and otherwise. Jason Shawn Alexander has a great handle on the more realistic looking stuff, the more horrific looking stuff, and it doesn't matter what male, female, black, white, ethnicity, doesn't matter. Jason Shawn Alexander has an amazing handle on these characters and a way to present scenes that keeps you terrified. So just a commanding work. Here is the cover for number 6. And again, there's a gives you a little clue of what's going on. If you start reading this series, you might maybe not get a clue of what's going on there. But the show, the series is visceral, man. It hits you right in the gut. I'll tell you that. So some amazing, amazing looking stuff there. Those covers and the artwork in the book are simply fantastic. My opinion of the book is it's one of those cases where the art and story just absolutely go together so well. It really seems like both of these guys are pouring their heart and their soul directly into the book. The story is easy to read, it's easy to understand, it's easy to follow, both from the writing side and from the art and the flow side of it. Both the writer and the artist know how to use humor as well as the very necessary and more visceral, terrifying elements of great horror. I really, really like the overall dynamics of the storytelling in the words and in the illustrations for this series. Barnes has created great characters for Jason, Shawn, Alexander to render. Each character is complex, and it is really enjoyable watching their personalities unfold across the pages of this scary ass story. The creative choices, including all those characters, good and bad, main and side characters, all feel very developed. The other creative choices like the pacing, the use of POV, the camera angles, cliffhangers, just the originality in the story itself, all underscore the excellence of this comic series and of the creators behind it. Let me give you a peek at just a few of the pages. I showed you some of the stuff from Empty Zone, so I would be neglectful if I didn't show you a couple pages from this series as well. Now, I want to let everybody out there know, number one, Killadelphia number one. The link to Killadelphia number one is available on Comic Book Corner Facebook page right now, facebook.com/Comic Book Corner. Go to Comic Book Corner on Facebook, and you will find the link to Killadelphia number one to read for free. See what I did for you there? For free. Go read it. So it's out there right now. Let me show you a little bit of the artwork from number one. All right. So let me just show you a little bit of the artwork from number one, and then you get yourself out there and go read it. Here is a look at page number 5 from Killadelphia number one. Not going to give anything away. I'm not going to leave it up long enough for you to read the whole thing, but I will tell you this in the corner is the father of the character that we saw on the cover, the main character. He's also a main character as well. I like this particular page. It's great. It shows you the more realistic elements that Jason, Shawn, Alexander is capable of, as well as down here in the corner, the more horrifying elements. And man, is it great. And so this particular page we see down in the corner, we see the dad getting scared to hell and back. And later there's a page that that kind of recalls this when the son experiences his own run-in. Here is page 19, and I really like this page as well. There's a lot going on here. Of course, at the top you've got the story going on, but I really like that bigger panel there and seeing, you know, what happened to America. And if you look at some of the graffiti on the wall, and then down here in the corner, you see the son getting ready to go in and experience basically his own shock, kind of like what the dad went through, but rendered completely differently and with a different kind of emotion, and with the son being younger rather than just kind of like, oh no, it's all coming down on me. The dynamic here is from the back in action as he's running out. And so it deals with that same kind of moment of initial confrontation with these vampires, but and handled similarly yet differently. You know, you can tell they have the same blood in their veins, yet the generational difference is really clear in the way that they respond to it. But again, let me just point out just the Jason Alexander art and the rendering here. My God, it's simply amazing. It's really beautiful stuff to look at. This is a book that I could pull I love Rodney Barnes' writing. I love the story he's done, but I could pull all of the words out of this and I could still sit and stare at it for hours just looking at the Jason, Shawn, Alexander art. So is this the book for you? If you like well-written horror with some amazing, super creepy art, this book is definitely for you. But it's also going to have a great appeal, guys. If you or if someone you know are readers who love crime stories, this is a book for them. If they like crime procedural dramas, stuff like CSI and stuff like that on TV, get them to read this. People who like mystery stories, this is a good book for them. People who like family dramas and the intensity of the relationships, even romance, including new love, old loves, and betrayals, this is a good book for them. If you like historical dramas, believe it or not, not like I said, I don't want to be the one to give anything away, but this book has one of the coolest, most imaginative twists for villains or bad guys that I've seen in a long time, man. I really can't imagine anyone that I know not going, oh, that's too effing cool when they see the twist in this story. Do you like vampires? Do you? Because if you do, if you like vampires, and man, I've been wanting a new story worth reading in vampire world for a long time. This is the best vampire story that maybe I've read since like Stephen King, since like reading Salem's Lot by Stephen King. So again, highly, highly recommended. Thank you. That's it. This has been the first ever Comic Book Corner Cram Session as we looked at Killadelphia. I'll see you soon for another Cram Session. I'll be looking at Black Hammer by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston, so don't miss that. In the meantime, run over to Facebook, like the Comic Book Corner page, and click and read Killadelphia, #1. It's there for free for you right now. It's free. Go read it. If you like this review and you think it might be for you, this is how you're going to find out. Go read the story. Send it to people you know. Send this review to people you know, along with that link. And I think you'll make some people happy. Don't miss any of my regular Comic Book Corner reviews either. I'll be doing a lot more of these, but don't miss those regular features for the longer reviews as well. I'll see you guys soon, everybody. So stay strong, stay healthy, keep your nose buried in the books, and spread love. Overall, you can't ask any more than that during times like these, guys. Spread love.